Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my guide to St. Mocianne's Arboretum, one of the 2 new dungeons in patch 3.1. To unlock this dungeon, you must have unlocked it from a quest called An Overgrown Ambition in the Dravanian hinterlands at X12Y19, and be a minimum item level of 170. This dungeon rewards item level 185 gear, as well as 80 tomestones of law and 40 esoterics. This dungeon consists of 3 bosses, as well as some trash in between. If you'd like to skip to a specific boss, please use the annotations in the top left hand of the video. The first few trash pulls consist of several different enemies. They're all enemy types you've encountered before, minus the Corpicers, which just jump on you at the occasional points in the dungeon. Just pace yourself through the dungeon however you best see fit until you reach the first boss, Rose Garden. Rose Garden is a really simple boss. Every so often, he will run to the center of the room and summon a poison puddle you should avoid standing in. He'll also summon 5 mini-morbles before he and his minions begin channeling extremely bad breath. After the initial cast, he and all of his adds will continue channeling the attack and slowly rotating around the room. All you have to do is avoid touching any of the breaths while you continue to DPS the boss. The only other mechanic in the entire fight is that several Rose hips will occasionally spawn, that explode for AoE damage if they're not killed fast enough. Eventually, these 2 mechanics happen at the same time, but the boss has no more surprises left for you, so just attack him till he falls over and we can move on. The second set of trash isn't much harder than the first, though the slow from the crawlers can be really annoying, so assume to that. Eventually you'll come to a honeycomb wall that spawns adds when you attack it. The first honeycomb wall dies pretty fast, but the second wall dies a bit slower and summons more adds. Now apparently, if you want, you can just kill the second honeycomb wall and slide through to the boss while ignoring all the adds it spawns if you really want. I've never done this, I've only heard it from others, so take it with a grain of salt. Regardless, just kill whatever you have to and get to the second boss, the Queen Hawk. The Queen Hawk herself can hit the main tank pretty hard, use AoEs, and spawn poison puddles on the ground. The main mechanic of the fight is her Nighthawks that are flying around the outside of the arena. They shoot attacks at random players and occasionally shoot AoEs at them as well. Every time you see the Queen cover the room in honey, she is actually issuing a command to the Nighthawks to use a different attack pattern, so keep your eyes on them whenever she does this. At 50%, they will tether to the Queen as she channels a room-wide AoE over and over again. Kill them quickly before the Queen Hawk overwhelms you with her damage. For the second half of the fight, it's mostly the same, but the adds will shoot their AoEs faster, and occasionally the Queen will execute a command that asks the Nighthawks to shoot a giant AoE through the middle of the room called Crossfire. If the Queen Hawk gives a command and the Nighthawks line up near each other, get out of their path and especially get out of the very middle of the room, or prepare to eat a truckload of damage. After that, just kill the Queen and move on. The last bit of trash is no more special than the first 2, though you gotta love those Parasite mobs you'll run into. Just clear through them and onto the final boss, Belladonna. Belladonna only has a couple of big mechanics, but their impact on the fight can quickly get out of hand if you don't do them properly. Belladonna herself has 2 AoEs, one called Soul Vacuum that just does damage to everyone in the room, and one called Atropine Spore, which damages everything not close to her body when it casts. Shortly into the fight, Belladonna summons several saplings that occasionally move around the room in various patterns. Occasionally, they will pulse an AoE that decreases the magic resistance of anyone standing near them, so don't stand in those little circles that surround the adds. To try and force you to stand near them, Belladonna occasionally casts Fron Fatale, which will seduce any players looking at her when it casts and cause them to run towards the saplings. Just make sure you turn your character around so that they're facing away from her whenever you see her casting. If you're a healer and you're not attacking her, make sure you have her on your focus target. The more stacks you get, the harder her AoEs are going to hit, so definitely be sure to do this mechanic. The only other attack she gains at this point is Petal, which occasionally marks players with an AoE around them, just spread out to avoid the overlapping damage from these marks. And finally, she can summon several Lily of the Saints onto the field that explode after a few seconds if not killed, so dispose of them quickly whenever they spawn. Just keep avoiding the saplings and all of Belladonna's attacks, and it should be a smooth run. Thank you for watching my guide to St. Mocianne's Arboretum, although I'm sure that's not really how it's pronounced. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more Final Fantasy XIV related content, as well as some other things in the near future on my channel. But anyway, thank you for watching, I'll see you all next time, and until then, take care.